Morning, Trainiacs. You know what's a good look? Hoodie and a Speedo. By the way, in the description below is a link that for the next 10 days you can get yourself some Trainiac gear from Scotty. Some Speedos. Everybody wants custom Speedos. In all seriousness, it is a pretty good look. But also in all seriousness, today I'm going to be doing a very heavily focused recovery swim. There's a pretty specific way and specific times that you should be doing these, and I'm gonna give them to you. All right, Trainiacs, that was just a easy 1,800 meters. Now, let me walk you through what a really good recovery swim is like and when you should do it, right after I take off the floaty pants. It's cold out here. Okay, let me walk you through the chunks of doing a good recovery swim. Number one, the only time that you should be wearing floaty pants throughout the week is during your recovery swim. You don't want to become reliant on those floaty pants, and you want your body to be able to lift your legs up to the surface naturally to create a really good swim position. On recovery day, go ahead and wear them floaty pants. Then when you start getting into the workout, you start with just a light swim. Jerry Rodriguez from Tower 26, my swim coach, he calls it not a hard stroke. Just going and swimming lightly. Then we get into the set and we use fins. And why we're using fins is a couple of reasons. Number one is that it creates the fluidity in your body that kind of works out gently all those nice little kinks that we develop. And what I like to do is after that little warm-up swim, drill, swim, drill, swim, drill, swim. Just doing a whole bunch of drills steady doesn't help you become a better swimmer, but if you do 25 of a certain drill, like right now, I'm doing one-arm strokes to get used to that nice bent elbow and pushing back all the way, and then immediately into 25 swim. 25 drill, 25 swim. Thinking about that motion that you're trying to develop during the drill. After that, I like to keep those fins on. And keeping those fins on allows me to do a little bit of backstroke with that nice fluid motion. And during that, I'm gradually picking up the pace to only about 80 to 85% of maximum. And that's where we want to cap it during a recovery swim. Any harder than that, we're going to be taxing ourselves. After we build up to around that 80 to 85% of our maximum effort, what I like to do is then get into some swimming with snorkel, band, and pull. That's going to focus us on getting our butt cheeks and our heels up to the surface. And again, don't go over about 80 to 85% of maximum. And what I'm really enjoying doing right now is getting the tempo trainer out during this time with the snorkel, band, and pull, and making sure that the tempo trainer keeps my stroke rate nice and fast, because in the off season or in recovery workouts, it's very easy to let your stroke get very, very slow, which you'll have to undo later in the year when you start getting close to race season. So keep that tempo trainer pace slightly high, around 80 to 85% of max, and then finish off with just a little bit of straight swimming. As far as the distance goes, during race season, I'm doing like 4,500 meter swims, 4,000 meter swims. So I'm cutting these recovery swims back to about 3,000, 2,500. Right now it's the total off season, so I just did 1,800 meters. So cut it way back so that you're not going too fast, taxing yourself. You're not having any really, really difficult swim drills, taxing yourself. And you aren't going so long that you're taxing yourself. All we're doing is just creating fluidity in the body and a little bit of swim familiarity so that we don't lose that feel for the water. And then finally, the few times that you could be doing this is on a recovery day. I recommend Monday being your recovery day because it allows you to work out all those kinks from being in the aero position for a really long bike ride on the weekend and from being beat up from your long run on the weekend. It also then prepares you for the rest of the week. You can also do it when you're sick, on the day after a travel day to work out all the kinks from the fly time, and then right now, injury. This guy. I got a pretty severe back injury. Here, check out the swim from today and I'll explain the back injury back at the house. So, Trainiacs, this weekend I spent a little bit of time in the hospital. About 13 years ago, when I was 23, 24, lifting weights, I had a really severe slip in the base of my spine. Since that time, about every 2 or 3 years it comes back. Well, second day in Kona, it came back. Really, really good timing. I had a hard time being on my feet all day, and Mel and NTK had to carry around the backpack full of gear. It was very chivalrous of me. So this weekend, I went to the hospital because it had been almost 2 weeks and it wasn't getting any better. Now, granted, I did go for a run when I wasn't 100% better, and that might have made it worse. So instead of the hospital giving me an MRI or really looking at my back whatsoever besides just talking to me, all they did was they filled me up with pills. Apparently within about a month, 50% of the people that have a slip disc get better. Within about 6 months, it's like 80%. Within a year, it's 90%. So they're just like, it's gonna fix itself. But I'm not just all about letting issues stay as they are and taking pills to cover it. So I went to a new chiropractor yesterday who's also an athletic therapist. He did not do any adjustments, and all signs kind of point to a bulge disc. What a bulge disc is like, think of it like almost like a burger, where if you squeeze the edge of a burger too much, all the mustard and ketchup and good stuff will come out the side. That's kind of what a slip disc is like in your back. So what he's got me doing is, in order to try to re-squish that jelly back in, we push up like this, and hopefully that squeezes some of it back in so that the fluid isn't pressing on all the nerves. And then what I do is I go up to a wall, put the back of my forearm and a shoulder up against it, stand about 6 inches away, and just push my hip up against it, hold for 10 seconds, do that 10 times. And the idea is, like, if my jelly has squished that way, we are going to squish the other way and hopefully get it back in. I am now 14 hours after leaving the chiropractor and feel not too bad. But I'm also spending a ton of time on the couch. I won't be doing any running for a little while. I will limit the bike only to the road bike. Pete will nurse me back to health. And if any of you want to get Trainiac kit, Trainiac Speedos, Trainiac cycling gear, arm warmers, I think they have more of a fall winter insulated jacket, all really good stuff from Scody. The link to that is in the description below, and it is only open for the next, by the time you see this, I think week and a bit, 8 or 9 days. So check it out, Trainiacs. If you need me, I will be on the couch.